Hey everybody,
Welcome to Five Boys in a Business.
All right, we're here with another exciting week. Thanks everybody for joining us. You can catch us on any of the podcast channels, YouTube, Spotify.
YouTube.
Yeah, you can listen to us on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah, those. Okay, let's start with, I didn't bring the picture in. Okay, I'll get that together while you're talking in just a minute.
Yeah.
Let's start with this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I have one word for you. Fortnite. Yes, that's right. Our household was consumed by Fortnite this weekend.
Was it?
Specifically, yesterday, 2 p.m. Let's set up the scenario, everyone. Okay, it's 1:55. I have countdowns going off in my house. I've got children running from one room up the stairs to the other child's room, down the stairs to the basement to where the other child is, talking to the child that doesn't live in the house, at their house, who's talking to their friend who lives in that house about the fact that in 5 minutes, it's going to go to the new map. Now, Richard, you don't know much about Fortnite because you choose to ignore it. However, I will say that this was rather exciting.
I don't choose to ignore it.
Okay,
Yesterday I was just not
You're
there.
not interested in it. Okay, well, here it is. So from the basement, I hear 10, 9, 8, 7, all the way down to 1. And they're all like screaming and then nothing. And so they call it the black hole, the black picture, the black, what is it?
His name is Terrence the Black Hole.
Terrence the Black Hole is what's happening with Fortnite. Now, some of the streaming that was happening yesterday before the launch, these people were going crazy trying to keep this from happening. So they were in the game trying to create these things to keep maybe the rocket from coming. Am I remembering this correctly, Harrison? Like, was there a rocket coming down into the map to blow everything up and send the map to oblivion? Is that what was happening? Oh my God, I'm really good. Okay, so here's this rocket coming in. There's these guys on stream, and they're like, oh my God, it's happening. We can't stop it. And they're going, it's like it would be like World War II. And so they're going back and forth, trying to build things to prevent the rocket from taking them out of the map. The map goes dark. I thought, okay, the map will be back in, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, an hour. My nephew Henry says, it's on average, they say it's going to take a little bit longer than what it normally does. And normally it would take an hour. So I'm thinking it's going to take 2 hours. 2 hours later. The black hole Terrence is still there. Dinner time. Terrence still present in Fortnite. Bedtime. Terrence still up. Black hole. People have probably sat there watching their computers for hours at a time. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that.
What did Calvin do first thing this morning?
I went downstairs.
And checked what?
I assumed
Terrence,
Fortnite.
the black hole. And was it still there? Yes, it's still there. So I have from a reliable source that it's going to be coming back soon on Tuesday. That's Calvin, but I don't know if he's reliable or not. So Fortnite is coming back, hopefully, with the new map.
For those who don't know, Fortnite, I'm an avid Fortnite player. And ever since the game has been created, there have been these things called seasons, and every season there's a new story element that is introduced. And with this season, it was that the entire game was going to end, and so that's why the black hole has come about. And whenever you try to load up the game now, it just shows a black hole. And for those who are saying that, this isn't a big deal, Fortnite's stupid, yesterday the black hole had a total of 6 million live viewers across YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and I think something else. But 6 million plus. So that's how big of a deal it is.
So 6 million users were watching
and so far, it is the second most watched game on Twitch, right behind League of Legends. And it's only a black hole. That's all that it is right now.
It's hilarious. It's so interesting to me. What do you think? What do you find interesting about it?
Not much.
Well, that's why your mom's the
Dad
worst.
doesn't care.
Can't see anything.
No, it's just interesting because that's, yeah, I guess. I mean, whatever.
Don't you find it fascinating that people have been able to create this phenomena? Like, they've been able to, put together something that is so easy and like it's so not complicated. Anybody from Calvin's age to whoever age can play it.
Yeah.
And you can play it for free, right, Harrison? Of which my kids don't seem to think is possible.
Well, you play for free, but you can buy skins.
You can buy the costumes.
Yeah.
Which are called skins. Very good, Richard.
All right.
And the characters are pretty cool. So.
And the games aren't very long, are they?
The games consist of around 15 to 20 minute
Like campaigns or
matches. Yeah. So it's
All
15
I know is I hear from upstairs Johnny on his desk because he gets mad because he loses or whatever. Calvin in his headpiece downstairs going, "Stop doing that! Somebody throw me a." What does he say? What is it happens when you die and you need to be rejuvenated?
Revived.
Oh, revived. Somebody revive me. That's the other thing. What's another thing you say if, like,
There's a bunch of stuff.
go ahead, start spewing them. What is it?
I don't know. I need a res.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Those are the big ones. It's fascinating to me. And it's interesting that people are playing that game and that's how they're spending their time together. Like they're not physically in the same room, although you could
No, but
be.
that's been around for years, the live gameplay. I mean, they just, for whatever.
It's like, let's meet up and play Fortnite.
But I mean, I don't know. Harrison, right? I mean, you've had live gameplay for years,
Yeah.
10 years.
I'm more of a solo player, so I play by myself. But that's only because I like single player games. But with multiplayer games, I do tend to play by myself.
Call of Duty, though, I mean, they've
More
had that
of a-
around. I mean, now you could maybe meet up, right? I mean,
But
usually it's just random. It just throws you in places.
It is just random. But the Fortnite's the first game where I've truly sat down and played with other friends for a very long period of time.
yeah, I mean they'll do it for. Like, that's how they'll spend their Friday afternoon
right.
or evening. So anyway, that was the big weekend. That was the big weekend story. That, and we had cross country again this weekend. So Garen made it out of sectional, which is exciting. So they go to regional next week on Saturday.
That's good.
And what else? Did anything else happen?
Just worked.
You worked. It was a working weekend because tell them why.
We did the schedule, and we're having the floors replaced up here, so we had to come up and supervise that, quasi-supervise that, then put things back together Sunday night for open of business Monday morning.
So the float was the floor was not a floating. Explain like how we had to manage all that.
It was just a floor that was glued down, and they had trouble getting it up because it was adhered to the floor. It should have been installed as a floating, but it's a long story. But
We should give a shout out to ICC because
Brad did a good job.
they did a good job, right? I mean,
Yeah, so far did a good job. I like the new floor a little bit better than the old stuff. It's a little bit.
I like the way better because you can walk
Yeah.
when you're walking on it, it feels more firm.
What's
So
glued.
I think he did a really good job of picking out something that would be a better
Yeah, it's a good product.
fit for what we were using it for, like the application.
Yeah, it's a good product.
So, but that was
It'll be a lot of work. They've got a little bit more to do for the adhered parts down the hallway, but pretty much that was the big snag. Is they didn't realize that it was all glued down, and it was glued down all right. People that came in didn't mess around and didn't not use enough adhesive. So
So
it took forever to come up. I don't think they had since they weren't expecting it. They didn't have quite the type of tool that would have made it quick, but they got it done. So
the wonders of being a business owner.
yeah, so it's good.
The joy.
So
Yeah.
it was good.
You are so quiet today.
I'm just waiting. I'm actually listening to the Emily show. Keep going.
I had to talk about Fortnite. It was like the whole weekend.
Dad, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
What do you have on your mind?
What's on
Not
your
much.
mind?
Not much. Definitely not Fortnite. I mean,
So, do you want to maybe talk about what we were talking to Harrison about in regards to resumes?
sure. What do you want to talk about?
You said it was the Emily
My guys, you guys go on for 15 minutes by yourselves, and you look at me and go, go.
You said it was the Emily show, but then you just sit there and not talk.
Because I'm waiting for her to keep going.
Well, then talk if you're doing it.
Well, okay, resumes. What about resumes do you want to talk about exactly?
Well, we had the conversation about.
Let me preface this.
My girlfriend is
Oh, no.
currently in school right now, and she's in a portfolio class. She's in a portfolio class where they're currently creating resumes and portfolios and cover letters. And so, my parents being business owners, I thought that it would be a good idea if my girlfriend sent them her resume so they could take a look at it and edit it and just give her some tips.
Okay.
So, what were your tips?
I just think if everybody views a resume, I mean, as one piece in the communication puzzle to potential employers to help them form an opinion based upon the information in front of them.
So, what's of value? Like, why did we talk to Harrison about the cover letter and the resume both, and like how to put together the resume?
Because I think it's a numbers game. You only need one job. So you're trying to convey the best message you possibly can to potential employers to get them to pull the trigger. It's a sales job. It's a sales pitch. And the only piece of information they have in front of them sometimes is a cover letter / resume or whatever it is that you're trying to communicate. So if you're looking at 100 resumes, a stack of them, what makes you stand out? Hence the cover letter, hence all of the information on your resume. If you have 5 seconds to look at a resume, what stands out? If you have 2 piles, accept, reject, what do? You want to have that information up there. So what's going to make them make their decision first? Do you have the requisite education? Whatever.
So what are the several steps somebody could do to put together a successful resume?
I think the best way to put together a successful resume is to go talk to people. I think networking is key. I think if you try and paper a city with resumes, you're one of a million.
But if you are putting together a resume so that at least when you hand your resume off, if you put the resume down on the desk or whatever, you want it to be a good resume. So what are the keys to a good resume?
I think you lead with education and lead with relevant work experience for the position you're applying for. I
So
mean,
you
if you're
lead
applying
with
for a job in
lead with
banking,
education.
yeah, I mean, if you're leading with, I mean, I've heard 2 schools of thought. If, say, for instance, you're trying to make a career change that doesn't require a degree or something like that, and you're trying to maybe relevant work experience is something that would help the potential employer pull the trigger faster, and then maybe you lead with that. But almost always you lead with education because that sets the stage for everything that's to follow. If someone sees that you have 2 or 3 degrees, well, then that already says, well, the person has 2 or 3 degrees or whatever. It means you're ambitious, intelligent, all that stuff. And then your relevant work experience follows.
So you put your work experience in order, correct?
Work experience?
Yeah, like
Well, yeah.
timely from a. Listen,
Not what you did last and
I'm
first.
just saying, if somebody is trying to put together, say somebody's listening.
You
trying to put
obviously
together,
put it in chronological order because
Okay,
someone wants
there
to
you
know
go.
what you've done most recently.
Okay, and what do you do with the bullet points to make sure that all the things underneath the resume? What do you do with them?
Okay, well, I look at resumes. I have my
I
own
flipped
opinion.
burgers.
Okay, well, what
There
do
you go.
Yes,
I
but,
worked at McDonald's. I flipped burgers. What would you say instead of I flipped burgers?
give an action point, something you're responsible for, and the result. And what did
So
you do?
changed I flipped burgers into something good.
I don't know. That's a tough one because it's just a
I
static
prepared
activity.
a meal
It
in
has
a
to be
timely
broad.
manner.
It has to be broader than the individual activity. What's the larger strategic meaning behind what you were doing?
There you go.
If
That's
you
what
were,
I think
if
is
you
key.
were, if you were over a loan portfolio, okay, great. What did you do with it? You were over it. What's the result that you got that kept you from being fired? Did you grow it? What did you come?
Get you from me.
Well, I'm serious. If you don't, I mean, if you look at someone's,
I showed up.
if
every
you
day.
someone's productivity in their work product over the course of say 2 or 3 years and it's flat, well then either you work for the government or you're not going to last long. So that's why you look at the larger strategic. What did you do? What were you responsible for?
I do think that people's cover letters. So then we talked about, and Madeline
That's
did-
different. That's just resumes. I mean,
Right.
that's just bullet points on resumes. Cover letters are a completely different
So
story.
I think Madeline did a good job with her resume, and then we were just talking about it because she had asked for feedback, making some fine little little things. And then we started talking about cover letters because we were like, well, can she send us the
But
cover
see, that's
letter?
and that's a different thing. The resume, I think, is your brochure, so to speak. You don't give a brochure until you're already making the pitch.
Right.
And your cover letter is, whether it be in the form of hard copy, which doesn't happen often much anymore. It's mostly in the form of emails.
Mm-hmm.
Is that keeps people reading, and it's all about audience retention and how do you get their attention and keep it such that they can make a call.
Well, and I think that the cover letter, it's interesting because you had mentioned the word sales, and I mean everything is a sale
pitching
basically.
all
You're
the time.
pitching it, so it's interesting. Some of the best cover letters that I've read are people that have taken time to, Oh my goodness gracious, what is going on here? Have taken time to look at the business and know what.
Yeah, you got
what's
something.
missing, like their point of pain. Like, what is it that I can do how can I make an addition to the business? What is it that you need that I can provide? What problem can I solve for you? I mean, those are some of the best ones that I've read where people have applied here and have said things that, one, about our mission or our vision, something that motivates them that's outside self-service. It's like something that's not going to serve just themselves, but they're interested in serving something greater than themselves.
Yeah, we're a little bit, not jaded's the wrong word, but a little bit different though. If you're applying to Lilly, for instance, or you're applying to a much larger organization.
Oh, sure.
You're dealing with an HR person that's looking at 1 billion resumes.
Right.
So that's why I say the cover letter, if you can, and the part of that is to get in front of a decision maker who can point you in the right direction.
In those types of jobs, you always need to know somebody.
Yeah, that's why I say if you're applying to large companies and you're just sending a resume or a stock cover letter, you're not gonna unless I don't know, every industry is different, but you're gonna get the whole point of that entire effort is to be effective and to get results. So the point of a cover letter is to, like I said, get someone's attention, keep it, and then make your pitch such that you're memorable and they'll be motivated for whatever reason to give you a call, to bring you in for an interview, whatever. And usually that has to do with follow up. I mean, I look at the whole job search process as just that, a process. You have to go out, talk to people in the industry. There may be opportunities you're not even aware of. You may be thinking, I want to do this, but when you go talk to 2 or 3 people, you go, wow, there's a niche here that seems to, looks like it might need to be filled. This person might know this person. And when you go out, you're not asking everybody for a job. You're just saying, hey, what do you do? What do you like about it? Right. And oh, by the way, who should I contact? I mean, if I wanted to learn more about this, whatever it is, fill in the blank, who should I talk to? Oh, okay, great. So then I'll send this other person a cover letter saying, hey, so-and-so recommended I contact you. I just wanted to see if I could come in and chat about what you do. And then you go in and all of a sudden, seriously.
I'm laughing because Harris is just, I needed to come up and say, I was trying to be funny and say something like, okay, we're in the Richie Show now.
Well, you asked the question. You keep asking questions.
No, I know. I'm trying to participate.
So, what would you do here?
Yeah, so I'm trying to, keep it real.
Well, no, that's what I think. I don't think it's terribly complicated. I think you can overcomplicate it. But yeah. This is going terribly. It's going terribly.
No, it's not.
Oh, my God.
Did you take a picture of his silliness when he was in the chair?
I'm not. We'll talk off air. My God.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so you were responsible for bringing a picture of something from the family today. Did you bring it?
I thought you were going to do that.
No.
You said you forgot it.
I was trying to blame you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have one in your phone that we could show everybody that would be why you look for that? We'll toss it back to the Emily Show. And oh, I cracked myself up. Okay, so he actually has the funny pictures on his phone of the kids doing things that, send the picture. Like you send me the pictures all the time of stuff that happens at the house. Like, I came home to this. Like, those kind of pictures.
Oh, if you want those kind of pictures, I got tons of them.
Oh, gosh. So, Leaders Eat Last. That was our book for this week. That was our book for the week. And Dad is just 1 chapter behind us. So,
more than that.
I was trying to be gracious. So I thought I would just briefly touch on that, the chapters that we had read, because we had talked about the baby boomers in part 4 and kind of what led to their circumstances and how they view the world and how they view business. And so then we were moving on to chapters 13, 14, 15. So what we'll do is wait for Richie to catch up with us. And then next week we will talk about those 3 chapters. Actually, it's really like 4 chapters because part 5 is really, I mean, it's just one
I just
more
got my
page.
book the other day.
So it's part 5. We'll talk about part 5 next week because I think it says some really good things about how you can view employees as leaders and making sure that we don't replace them with a number, and how that actually happens over time naturally and why that can lead to not good things. So we'll talk about that next week. Did you find something clever?
Other than that,
That was last week.
that's all I've got.
Well, that is...
It's not very funny, but
You're not-
but it's an inside joke, but that's
Okay.
it. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Okay, Harrison, do you want me to look on my phone really quick and see what I find? Okay. I'm tossing it back to the Richie show. Richie, you're on. Go.
There's no, yeah.
You're going to... Let me look really quick because I know that... We need that. What's the... What is the... The Jeopardy... the Jeopardy song. Do you know that, Richard?
That's it.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
I don't know really.
Well, shoot. What's what else we got? Tell everybody, because our next thing was to talk about why I'm looking for this really quick, is to tell everybody about what's happening this week. This coming week. Oh, I know another thing you could talk about.
What?
Dr. Poles.
Oh yeah, welcome Dr. Kristen Pulls. Today, her first day. She is a native of Colorado, and I think Denver. I could be wrong, but I know she's from Colorado. She went to school, I think, at Purdue. Can't remember where she went to undergrad, but she has been practicing for a couple of years and has just started her practice with us today. So welcome, Dr. Pulls.
Yep, and she she's been out 2 years or 3 years.
17 grad.
Right. So, skill set, very good skill set as far as surgery, medicine. Yeah. She, enjoys both those things. Very good with building client relationships. So I think everybody's going to really love her, including the staff.
She makes a heck of a scone. That's
hey,
for sure.
She made scones. They were really good.
They're fantastic.
So, yeah. What else is going on this week? Coming up. We are getting ready for Richard's birthday on Saturday.
Big day.
And tell everybody what we're going to go do.
Axe throwing. That's Emily's idea. It wasn't mine, but I'll take it.
Axe throwing.
It'll be a fun time. I've never done that.
It should be a blast.
I've thrown axes, but not officially. As a young man.
So I think that we're gonna go. I think the place is in Fishers. I think
so too. You throw it at bullseyes, I think.
Yeah. So we're gonna go do that on Saturday. Go to dinner. Tell everybody how old you're gonna be.
37.
Liar.
48.
48. Okay.
Big 48. Almost a half a century. Can you believe it? Good God. I never forget the time I talked to my dad. He called me on my birthday for some reason. He's out of the blue. And I go, yeah, today's my birthday. He goes, no kidding. I said, he goes, how old are you? I was like, 43. And he goes, 43? God, it's been that long? I was like, yeah. You were there for it. So was I.
Oh, my gosh.
So.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and your mom called you that one time and said, am I right in thinking that your birthday isn't that what she said?
Yes.
I'm right in thinking that your birthday
Am I
is
right?
this
You think
date?
your birthday is October 19th? It's like, yes, mother. You were definitely there. For sure.
Well, she doesn't celebrate birthdays because she's a Jehovah Witness.
Yeah.
So you don't. So when you were growing up, you had no birthday parties.
Nope.
And then when it was a Halloween party, you had to leave the room in the classroom.
Yeah.
For any parties, you had to leave.
Really.
No celebrating for you.
Yeah, but we eventually.
That explains so much.
That was only in grade schools, though. We didn't. I mean, we started to defy that policy as middle school rolled around.
How old were you when you started having to participate in being a Jehovah's Witness?
Oh, as long as I can remember.
From when you were a baby?
Not a baby, but I mean, 3 or 4.
Until when?
13.
High school until 13.
I was out. See ya. Excommunication.
So, what was your favorite part about being a Jehovah's Witness?
Wow, let me think. 0.
So all of it sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
So what was the worst thing you ever had to do as a Jehovah's Witness?
Oh my God. There are lots of things. We used to have to go door to door and sell stuff.
He was that annoying person that knocked on your door.
That was awful.
Tell us the spiel. What was
I
the
don't
spiel?
remember.
Yes, you do. I know you do. You probably remember. You
My
don't
buddy and
remember
Kelly and I, we used to go try and do it. I remember one time Kelly was pitching to this old man at the door, and he goes, da, da, da. The guy was like, all right, just give it to me. He goes, hey, it's 25 cents. He goes, never mind. Slammed the door. You couldn't give them away for crying out loud.
Oh goodness!
It was
what
not
are the
a lot of
okay? So
fun.
what are the main tenets of being a Jehovah's Witness?
Oh my word! Do you really want to go?
Yeah, come on, tell us.
Oh, good Lord.
What were the main things you had to believe?
It's changed over the years, but the big things were no Christmas, no holidays, basically at all.
No birthdays, no
nothing.
holidays. Why? You explained the one time to me why it is they don't believe in birthdays. There's some reason that. Like
To the best of my
logic behind it.
recollection, the reason there's no birthdays is because there's some place in the Bible where, or there are 2 or 3, I don't know, where there was birthdays being celebrated, something bad happened within the context of the celebration, so they interpreted that as you shouldn't have birthdays. It's very random, and there's a lot of that, I think, and if memory serves, again, it's been years, where you have a lot of that reading into context. To say this happened, well, we're going to interpret this way,
Right.
and does it make a difference if you do it? Probably not. I mean,
Yeah. So no celebrating Jesus' birthday.
no. And if my memory serves, it was because that's not when his actual birthday was, and somehow they must have had some window into exactly some Bill and Ted's time machine to tell exactly when it was. Who knows?
Oh my gosh.
Now they did have one thing called the memorial where you'd go and it's hysterical though as you get older and you start to see the similarities between the different faiths, because they would say we're not Christian, but there's so many things that they would preach and adhere to were very Christian based. And one of them was the memorial was basically Easter light. I mean, you would go and it was kind of like mass where you take unleavened bread and wine, but it was actually grape juice, and and they would pass it around. You had to take it and just pass it. And only one of the tenets was there were only 144,000 people that are going to go to heaven, and they're called the anointed, and only the anointed. Now, no one knows how you won this lottery. It was all this thing. I'm the anointed. All right, what? So anyway, there was some dude in our congregation that was one of the anointed, and only the anointed
Because he
can
paid
take.
so much to join the.
I don't know what it is. I told one guy once, he goes, he's the anointed. He goes, yeah, whatever. So he wasn't very well liked, if memory serves. So at any rate, only those could partake of the grape juice and the matzah cracker or whatever it was that they had that was unleavened bread.
Interesting.
Now, how you capped it at 144,000, I don't know.
Yeah,
With
that's
an organization with millions of people. And it's interesting, and I'm sure
Interesting that
I'm
people
I'm
would
very
buy into that, even when.
It's very, yeah, don't get me started on that. That's very, there are things that are done within certain groups. I'm not going to isolate that group. That are meant to take the members and make them feel different. And that difference is then utilized and interpreted as persecution and welcomed.
Right.
So it's billed. It happens because you're different. But then it's, well, this difference and this ridicule, whatever it is that you experience from a negative point of view, is then said, well, you should expect it, you should welcome it, because you're part of this organization or this belief system, then you, based upon Scripture, should expect persecution.
Oh.
So persecution isn't negative per se at a deeper level. It's more, of course, that's the price we pay for this.
I can't believe you remember that much about it.
Oh, yeah.
Tiffany didn't have.
How do you even not remember it? You go 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
You missed the Fall Guy. You missed Magnum PI. All the cool shows Thursday night. Thanks, Mom. You missed all those cool shows.
So where was Tiffany?
She was there.
Oh, Tiffany had to go. Does she remember?
We all went.
Does she remember as much as you?
Maybe more. She was older.
Yeah.
She was getting to that age where, I mean, I don't remember what age you get baptized. I have no idea. I don't recall. But that was kind of like when you made the entrance into the organization, is that once you were baptized. And I've heard, I don't remember where I heard this or read it or somewhere, that the baptismal age is getting younger and younger and younger.
Yeah, you think?
So
'Cause
I do
people
think
can
they've-
decide for themselves.
Well, and I do think, and this isn't this singling out that organization. It's any organization like that who has benefited from limiting the amount of information that flows between people.
Yeah.
I mean, that when I was in the organization years ago, education was not stressed. You were not. It was frowned upon to go to college.
Yeah.
Critical thinking was frowned upon.
Right.
You had to parrot certain tenets and certain things within each group, and if you didn't, you couldn't ask questions.
Right.
And things were, and again, this is years ago, and I haven't been in that organization for a long time, but that's what I recall, is that that's the way the organization worked. Now they've had to change some things. What's interesting is you'll have a lot of, one of the big pushes back years ago was an apocalyptic kind of vision of the future, and they called it the Great Tribulation. And you were striving for that, because at that point there would be all these changes, and things would be, I forget what they'd call it. It wasn't New World Order. It was something like that, where it would be peace and all this stuff. And people were always looking forward to that. And the organization in the past had said, well, it's going to be here. It's going to be here. It's going to be here. And then I think 1975 was a big year where they had said it's going to happen. And then it didn't happen. People were like, what? So, and they took off. So now, and then because years ago, one of the tenants, I remember this clear as day, they would say the
Oops. Sorry.
the generation of 1914 will not die away without the end of times. And then what do you do?
What do you do?
That was 106 years ago. So, I mean, and so they've had to change things over and over and over, I mean, to accommodate,
It's
which kind of
fascinating
calls
that they
into
can
question.
do that and not lose. Like, how are they still in, like, an actual organization that people feel like they want to follow?
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it
I
seems
think
like-
people on the outside, it's difficult to appreciate the level of fervor.
The cultish kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's difficult to imagine that kind of, yeah, not cultish. I don't know if I use that word, but I mean just the wholesale. And I don't think that's any different from any other any other organization. Like, there's a lot of religions out there. People go, how do you believe that? It doesn't make any sense, or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
So we will not be expecting a birthday card from your mom.
Wow, long answer, but you asked.
No, I just find it so fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, there are things off air I could tell you that, not experiences, but tactics. There's a reason why there's a reason. Yeah, it's just it's interesting how, as an adult, you look back on those things and you see things make more sense.
So what is one of the funniest things that, you know what I think is funny, actually, is
What?
when we were in Tennessee, we were driving, and actually where you went and had service is a liquor shop.
It's a liquor store now. Hey, let's sing a Kingdom song, and I'll take a fifth of Jack. Thanks.
I thought that was really funny. What is one of the funniest things you remember doing with, like, when you look back on it, you know what I mean? Like, that's like one of your funny stories about.
From that?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
What?
I could tell that story was not a very good one. Let's see. Gosh. There were all kinds of things. I mean, you'd go every Thursday night for 2 hours, every Sunday for 2 hours, and Tuesday night you'd go for an hour-long study. I remember Sundays were so boring because some dude would get up there with not great public speaking skills and bore you to death. And you're up there for like an hour going, I'm dying. I'm getting nothing. I have no idea.
All right.
So, yeah. So, and then we have to go to these conventions. These conventions twice a year
Didn't you
or
get
something.
lost at a convention?
Oh, yeah. I got lost. My mom, it was in Knoxville, actually. It was at the Coliseum. It's ironic because I saw several shows there. Concerts, that is, after that. And it was the Coliseum in probably 1979, 1980. Jared and Jessica were really, really little. And my mom I was pushing the stroller, and it was it's not like the streamlined twin strollers they've got today. It was this long thing, And I was pushing it, and through a crowd, and I just got lost. And
With them?
Well, they were walking, and I just got lost. You're at a convention with thousands of people, and I got lost. I remember once I got lost at the convention one time, and I don't remember what happened. I got separated, and I went over, and I was upset, and this guy pulled me over, and he goes, and he goes, "Where were you born?" And I go, "Germany." And he goes, "All right." And he said, "Okay." He goes, "What's your dad's name?" And I said, "Richard." And so he goes, so my mom's going, and all of a sudden over the loudspeaker they're going, "Got a Richard King from Germany. Please come to the Lost." So my mom's like going, "What?" And then finally it hits her. That's what was going on.
Oh gosh, I think that's so funny.
So that was one of those things. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting time in your life.
Yeah, they remember Jared and Jessica, my twin little brother and sister are twins. It was always tough. It was funny because, and I'm sure you did this too. When they were acting bad when they're really little, everybody's like,
I'll take them out.
Yeah, I'll take them out. Take them out. Thanks.
Can I be the one to take them out? I'll take them outside.
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Oh my God, we did that all the time in Ireland with Courtney. We would be like, "I'll be the one to take them out," because we'd go outside and you could just walk around. You didn't have to.
Yeah, but at least Mass is only an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, Mass is once a week for an hour.
Yeah.
They may have changed it now. It's back then it was pretty intense. And you had to go down service Saturday mornings. You had to go out and preach the word to people. Preach the word, yeah. So that was always lots of fun.
Well, there were some good things you learned from it.
The great thing was seeing people from school out as you were in service. I did happen a couple of times. There's a girl from from middle school. She goes, "Didn't I see you out Saturday?" I was like, "Nope, sure didn't. Must have been somebody else." But our town's only 300 people. I don't know what to tell you.
But you learned good things like public speaking.
Now, I will say, if there is a positive, when you are a kid, they make you do this thing called the theocratic ministry school, and the beginner school is in the back. And so maybe Sunday, I don't remember what day it was, but you'd go back there and meet, and you had to give a speech and on a scripture or something, and it had a time limit, and you had things you had to work on with each speak. One was gestures, one was eye contact, all that kind of stuff. So it does get you used to doing that. I only had one or two in the main hall. It's hysterical though too, because I go to the liquor store now and I go, "This place is so small. It seemed
so big,
ginormous when I was a kid, but it's so tiny."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we did, and it does get you used to public speaking, and that I remember as a little kid, you'd get up and do it. So it does help you get over that initial fear of doing those things.
Yeah, they're very cool.
So
yeah. That was just
what that has to do with 5 boys or a business. I don't know.
That had to do with your birthday, because your birthday's coming up on Saturday.
Right.
That's why we were talking about that.
Right.
So yeah, that's the big week thing this week.
Yeah.
That we got going on. I don't know if we have
birthdays at this age. Birthdays at this age are a bit anticlimactic, except for yours, coming up on the 28th.
Mine's on the 28th. That's right.
Yeah, you got a big one coming up.
It is, and we're celebrating at our Christmas party.
Yeah.
I'm turning 50.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say it, but you.
I'm not afraid of it. Bring it.
It's so funny too, because I don't feel much. I feel older, but I don't feel physically, but mentally.
Yeah.
I've always thought life's cruelest joke is that you feel the worst probably when you know the most, and you look the best and feel the best when you know the least.
That's so true.
Because as a 20-year-old, you think you know everything, but you can't possibly.
No, right.
But then as a 50-year-old, you're like, you just life experience and context.
No, that's very true. Absolutely.
Although
for me, it might be, I know not much and still know not much.
I don't think that. I think you know more than you think you do.
I could. It's possible. Okay, so with that being the last thing for our week's updates, or what's coming, I guess, next week, we are supposed to be plugging the merch store, because why wouldn't anybody want to buy this? I mean, everyone should want to, because these are so comfy.
Yeah, can't you see?
So comfy. Okay, so they're super soft cotton.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how.
They're nice shirts.
It says All Star on the side, All Star Vet, and it's got a really cool logo. And you also have the All Star hats on our merch store. So we want everyone to go check it out, so that maybe when you come to the clinic, if you wear your All-Star shirt, something special may happen. Never know.
Get a discount.
Oh, I didn't say that, but maybe so.
Neither did I.
It might be fun to see. Okay, so yeah, check out the merch store. It's at All-Star Merch, ASVCmerch.com. Check it out. If you're not wearing it, you're missing out. Because don't you want to look like this? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so that's all we have this week. We'll see you guys next Monday. And we'll talk about the book. We'll have a photo. I won't miss the photo this week for next week. And we'll visit with everybody then. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.